Time for my favourite statue, the Aphrodite of Knidian, with a date of 340 BC. Now, this statue is a marble copy, but it was an original marble too, and it's by Praxiteles, so our same sculptor that made Hermes and Dionysus and the Apollo Soroctonos. Now, she's called Aphrodite of Knidian because she was placed in a round temple on the island of Knidian. She wasn't originally meant to be there, though. She was first offered to Cos, and what's really interesting is that Cos rejected her because even though this is the goddess of love and sex and beauty, it was deemed too outrageous that she was entirely nude. And if you think about the other female statues we've seen so far, whilst we might be able to see some of the body through the transparent drapery or clingy drapery, we've never come close to seeing a female nude before. It certainly wasn't acceptable to the Greeks. So Cos benefited from getting the statue, and she became a bit of a tourist attraction. And being placed in a round temple, there was enhanced viewer interaction with this statue because you had to walk all the way around and you could view her from every angle. And we've got some amazing accounts from the ancient world as to how people reacted to her, from people like Pliny and also Pseudo-Lucian. Some of these stories are incredibly dodgy. So we get one about a sailor who, with kind of maddened lust, left a stain on the statue itself. And we also get kind of dialogues between people. So a man called Charicles shouts out about how happiest of all the gods was Ares, who got to sleep with Aphrodite, whilst another, an Athenian, looked at her from behind and compared her to Ganymede. So she's really been very popular for all sorts of reasons. Now, I want to start by talking about that viewer interaction a little bit more, because we're looking at Aphrodite and she's bathing. And, whilst this was part of her cult religious practice and reminds us that she is a goddess, it's also quite an everyday activity. And we've caught her in that moment. We become the voyeurs. We're kind of peeping at Aphrodite. But the interesting thing is she doesn't seem that bothered. There's only a really vague attempt to cover herself up. The leg is brought slightly forward. We've got a hand across her genital region there. But the other hand is not really doing very much to whip the drapery across her. And she's gazing off into the distance quite confidently. We get the impression that Aphrodite knows the power she's got over the male gaze. Now, because she's been made by Praxiteles, it's also worth me talking about the Praxitelean features that we can see as part of this statue. So for a start, we've got that integrated support. It's part of the narrative as well as supporting the statue, which was originally made of marble. We can see the S-bend in the body, enhancing the contrapposto that is already there. She's also a humanised goddess, carrying out an everyday activity. And with the head being on the slightly small side, a 1:8 head to body ratio, she's got those similar proportions that we've seen with Hermes and Dionysus as well, and the Apollo Soroctonos.